nuevo honorados. I thank the Assembly of First Nations and the Assembly of First Nations of Quebec and Labrador for inviting the Quebec Native Women's Association to be here. The efforts that we have had collaboratively to work on this particular subject has been great enormous strength and pride amongst our organizations. So thank you very much, Islam. It is also a great honor to work with groups like Amnesty International and the other civil society groups within Quebec and nationally who have felt that this is an important issue to urge all Canadians to support and to get their government to support. The UN Declaration is the most comprehensive universal international human rights instruments. It elaborates on economical, social, cultural, political, spiritual, and environmental rights of Indigenous people, of whom there are 370 million worldwide in 70 countries. Ban Ki-moon stated that the principled and normative framework for achieving justice and reconciliation between Indigenous peoples and non-Indigenous peoples is within the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. And as Beatrice has mentioned, the Declaration does not create new rights. It elaborates on Indigenous peoples' inherent rights, which is within Canada's own constitution, and which they are obliged by the rule of law to respect. Unfortunately, Indigenous peoples' rights have not been respected throughout history, and so it is time for Canada and Canadians to turn the page and to create a peaceful coexistence between all Indigenous peoples here in Canada. Last year's residential school apology seems empty now when we consider that the government of Canada continues to push assimilative policies and programs and says to us that we're sorry and we regret what happened to you in the residential school experience, but we are sorry we cannot protect and respect your human rights. And so today, when we look at what is happening around the world, all the social issues, the violation of human rights happening to Indigenous peoples throughout the world, it is selfish for the present government of Canada to continue to deny endorsing the Declaration, to continue to deny that Indigenous peoples are equal. Recently, last month at the Convention on Biodiversity, Canada objected every time the UN Declaration was brought up. They objected to the term peoples. So if this is a true democracy, if this is a true country concerned about the rights of Indigenous peoples, but the rights of all peoples, that we are supposedly all equal, then we urge them to sign this petition. Imagine all the Aboriginal people, all the Indigenous peoples in Canada signing this petition, how many names would be on it. And so we also urge as well, not just the ordinary citizens of Canada, but all provinces and territories to also endorse and support this declaration, which is by far inclusive of the collective and individual rights of Indigenous peoples throughout the world. So I thank you all, and I hope that everyone understands the importance of this declaration, the importance of peace between our peoples, because we have not yet achieved that. So I thank all the people who are here from the Bloc Québécois, from the NDP, and all the organizations who have put time and energy into working on this very important project. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gabriel. Maintenant, je vais inviter le chef du Bloc québécois.
Bien, bonjour. Très brièvement, j'appuie entièrement les propos tenus par Mme Courant, Gabriel, M. Picard. Nous avons toujours appuyé cette déclaration. Je ne comprends pas que M. Harper et le gouvernement fédéral s'y objectent. C'est une honte pour le Canada et le Québec de voir le Canada refuser de signer cette déclaration, s'isoler de telle façon aux Nations Unies. Nous avons, par le passé, collaboré étroitement sur cette question avec l'Assemblée des Premières Nations. Par exemple, M. Picard était venu avec Amnesty International rencontrer les ambassadeurs d'une cinquantaine de pays de mémoire afin d'exposer notre position et de débattre pourquoi le Canada refusait telle chose. C'est fait à huis clos. Nous rencontrons de cette façon régulièrement les ambassadeurs. Nous avions également En 2005, je crois, délégué Bernard Cléré à Genève parce que les discussions n'avançaient pas et à la demande des Premières Nations du Canada, ils nous avaient demandé d'envoyer Bernard là-bas, qui était le premier député autochtone du Québec depuis 1921 à siéger ici à la Chambre des communes. Or, nous allons continuer sur cette voie et faire en sorte que la pétition soit signée. Nos députés se chargeront de le faire dans chacune des circonscriptions où est présent le Bloc par ses députés, qui est 48 circonscriptions, puis également par le site web du Bloc. Donc, nous allons collaborer entièrement afin de mettre le plus de pression possible sur le gouvernement canadien. Souhaitons-nous bonne chance.
Merci beaucoup, M. Duceppe. Now we'll invite Jean Crowder. After that, we're going to invite both Mr. Duceppe and Crowder to at the table to sign the petition.
Thank you. I want to acknowledge that we're on the Algonquin People's Traditional Territories. I want to thank the APNQL and the Assembly of First Nations and the partners for bringing this initiative forward. As Mr. Duceppe mentioned, in the Chamber of House of Commons, the opposition parties have been united in pushing the Conservative government to sign the United Nations Declaration. And in this day and age where Canada continues to try to portray itself as a defender of human rights, they need to come to the table and become a signatory to this agreement. We are seeing Canada's reputation eroded internationally at Copenhagen, at other events. I know in my own riding of Nanaimo Cowichan, the Hulkaminam Treaty Group recently had to take a land claims issue to the OAS to fight for their right for a land claims settlement. So if there is to be any truth to the apology, that very important residential school apology that laid a foundation for healing and reconciliation in this country, the Conservatives must sign this agreement for there to be any true reconciliation. So I know the New Democrats and other opposition parties are committed to supporting the AFN and the AFNQL and the partners on the petition. We will be presenting them as deputies, as members in the House of Commons. We will be taking these petitions to the House of Commons to support your efforts. And I want to reiterate that the NDP will stand with you in taking this message forward. Thank you very much for your efforts.
Thank you very much. On va faire deux petites places avec M. Duceppe and Mme Crowder. I want you to sign the petition.
Non, c'est pas grave.